guys, welcome to my channel. Have you ever stopped to think what you would have done if the telephone did not exist? We have to admit the telephone is one of the best inventions man ever made. Many can agree that they will find it difficult to live in today's world without having a phone or some means of communication. In the comment section, please examine your situation in this current era and honestly tell me if you can live without having a phone. If your answer is yes, you can live without a phone, tell us how. Now, for me personally, it would be difficult getting used to. I mean, if the phone did not exist, then I would have to do without it and find some other means of communication that works for everyone. Do you think we take the phone for granted? We use it for so many things like setting up meetings, having conference calls, texting, social media, playing games, and the list goes on and on. It is even used for illegal things. Everything has its purpose in society. I think if there were no phones, we could still survive because the internet is available, which can still accommodate having a phone call without the use of a phone handset, or we could simply send emails all the days of our lives. But who even wants to do that when voice is better sometimes? However, we have the phone now, and it is important to our existence. Let's look a bit at how the phone evolved over the years. Remember to subscribe, click the notification bell, like, and comment. Many years ago, people needed ways to communicate with each other. One method was to use runners if the recipient was not in close proximity. Imagine having to run for days, camping, and then start again on your journey. This was a job only for the fittest of the fittest. I can bet the relevance of the message declined in some cases, but what could they do? Anyway, as time progressed, other means of getting messages out improved, and this is where horse riding comes into play. It was more kind on the body except for the horse, and messages arrived quicker than if sent with a runner. As a matter of fact, using horses to deliver mail and messages became the primary method for many years by many different nations. Y'all remember the Pony Express? The Pony Express was a mail service used for delivering messages, newspaper, and mail using relays of horse-mounted riders. It was a fast mail service in North America in the late 1800s for a brief moment because it was replaced by the first transcontinental railroad and the telegraph. Another method used to transmit messages was the smoke signal. It was one of the oldest form of long-distance communication used to transmit news, signal danger, or gather people to a common area. Unfortunately, it wasn't the most reliable method of communication due to the unpredictable nature of the weather. They also used flashing lights in the daytime and blinking lights at night as a means of communication. As people looked for ways to improve communication, the telegraph was created. It works by transmitting electrical signals over a wire laid between stations. Use of the telegraph was quickly accepted by people eager for a faster and easier way of sending and receiving information. Although the telegraph had fallen out of widespread use by the start of the 21st century, after being replaced by the telephone, fax machines, and internet, It laid the groundwork for the communications revolution that led to those later innovations. It was an exciting moment when the telephone came on the scene. Various types of instruments were used, but I am more familiar with this type. Not familiar as in I have used it before, but I have seen them thrown down in a corner unused while a more modern type was used. Compare rotating this wheel on this phone with simply pressing a few buttons to get connected to someone else. In some cases, we don't even have to dial so many numbers, but instead press a button on speed dial and we are connected. Remember the payphone? This one I definitely remember, which was very accommodating when there was no mobile or cellular phone. As the name suggests, you must pay via coins or cards for these phones to work. These phones are usually located in public areas, so if you happen to be stranded and don't have any money of any form, your goose is cooked unless a kind stranger comes to your rescue. Please share your experience of using this type of phone. Then there was the matter of the telephone book. It was a light book, but as time progressed, it became a big, fat, heavy book. If you want to reach anywhere or anyone and do not know the number to call, the phone book was a go-to. Who still has a phone book somewhere in their basement? Along with the phone book directory, we had our personal phone book that we put numbers of our friends and family in. Does anyone still have their phone book? I think I threw mine out when the mobile phone came on the scene. I had to sit and enter all the numbers from my personal phone book into the contacts of the mobile phone, and I never looked back since. So there you go. The phone is very important in our day-to-day life. Remember to comment on whether you can ever go back to living without a phone, and if yes, how. Let me also know if you still have your personal phone book. Thanks for taking up time with me today. Remember to subscribe, click that notification bell, like, comment, and share.